Got the perfect seat and table right here when I wake up. Do a scout. Would never been seen from here. I picked a spot. Well, this spot chose me, to be fair, and it's kind of strange because I feel like I've been here before. I've explored a lot of this bush over the years. And it's an old camp left by people that left no trace except like one little container and one piece of string that happened to be right here. And I chose this spot because it meant that I didn't have to clear anything. All I have to do is build up a little bit of shrub around the tent. And I mean, as it goes, as it stands, with that green tarp, the blackout green tarp, no one from the beach is going to see anything. The only chance is someone possibly in the water catching a glimpse of something, and that's unlikely too. If we're kilometers from anything. I had the most peaceful sleep, the most vivid dreams, and I got to wake up in peace in my own space. And these are the really simple things about being a human being that we are so disconnected with that we don't even see any value in anymore. It's been a glorious couple of days in the sun, in the wonderful winter sun that I don't seem to be able to get enough of. And now it's time for me to go and do a full charge on the bike. And there are other things too. At least I have a lot of water here, so I just need to get food and charge the bike, charge some devices, and I'll be good for another couple of days. It's hard to pull myself away. I just want to stay and just make the little charge that I have on devices left work, but I can't. I gotta get into this habit, and it's not hard to do every couple of days. To have this peace. The only times I have to open my mouth are when I have something to share with you. It's always hard to say goodbye to the space that has been so generous to me. But I'll be back. Y'all so worried about each other. All I'm worried about is getting to do things like this as much as possible. Hi. I don't have any peanuts right now, but thank you for recognizing. Figuring out the logistics of things has not been easy. Forgot wires, so having this somewhat secure while it charges is going to be difficult. Anyway, this isn't something that I'm going to have to do that often, now that I've got it all sorted out. So It wasn't that bad, ultimately. It's probably a little bit worse than I was expecting it to be. But that is just half the point, I think. Maggie, I can't say I miss doing this, and I did it every night somewhere like this at all. There are some things I do miss, and this is not one of them. The things humans must do to try and have a little bit of peace and connection to their reality. At least there are still some left. We ought to use them. Back into the bush. Back into the bush. The peace. So much more luxurious than the race. I'm not actually sure what that is. I've never seen whales do this. It's having a little splash. The universe has put me in some really profound situations over the years. Living in a vehicle, in the bush, connected to reality. And I've found myself in synchronicity with sacred flows of energy that have manifested situations that I was unprepared for and think about almost every day. How I could have seized so easily, so many opportunities. But I have to remember, we all have to remember, that those moments are supposed to help us connect with the source of what we are, because everything that we experience from this perspective is valid, because it is as if we are witnessing. It's as if consciousness is witnessing every perspective that it can, and that in itself is valid. So the things that you perceive as errors are simply the way that you were always going to respond as a product of the environment that you are, because you are a perspective of something so much greater than what you're likely identifying with, which is your ego. We are everything, and the closer that we get to realizing that, the more we can actually create in our lives. I spent a lot of standing in the sun like this, grounded to the earth, charging on so many levels. Sunlight is so important. Everywhere. Sunlight everywhere. Got a curious magpie here. There is a spectrum of energy in relation to everything that has projected itself into existence in this realm. Good and bad don't exist, not in the concept that people seem to think. What that means is the highest vibration and the lowest vibration are dependent on each other to exist. So neither is better or worse than the other, because without each other, neither of them exist. So how could you decide which one is so-called better? And so then the whole structure of the hierarchies of everything changes in your perception, because you're no longer quantifying everything, dissecting everything, compartmentalizing everything. Everything just exists because all of it has to exist, like all the segments of a crystal, because this is all just a crystal. We're just water, refracted light. Existing if there's enough consciousness around for it to be acknowledged. I don't want any outside perspectives, structure intervening with my experience. I'm here to experience the rawest aspects of whatever are here to be experienced. That's what I do in video games. Why would I do anything differently here? I want to see the deepest parts of their existence, and they do not have anything to do with any form of structure in place by anything other than nature. This is the most profound expression of time and matter, like a clock. That's ever existed. And we should be able to see that on some level. This planet is so beautiful. This is just a glimpse into my life and how I see reality and what it's like to try and connect with it instead of fussing about everything else that's instilled upon us our whole lives. I'm going to be posting when I can. The structures are going to be different for each video, I suppose, until I figure it out. I want to inspire people to go outside, to have a different attitude towards the most fundamental environment and platform for our reality, which is nature. And take you all on a journey of exploring consciousness through a solitary lens, connected to everything, instead of the meaningless structure very insecure people, men, have put in place to prevent us from seeing the depth of this reality.